Everyone, we got a huge special guest today on the John Green Show, Mr. Ron McLean himself. Ron, how are you doing?
I'm great, John. You did a great job to run me down in downtown Toronto. I've never seen a streaker with a Leaf sweater on.
I mean, you know what? I figure our boys aren't doing so good, so we have to show some speed somewhere. I mean, you got a fat kid running down the streets of Toronto after you. How are you feeling with that?
Did a hell of a job. No, I'm grateful. I'm glad it happened. And you know, we're sitting here on the studios that we're using for the World Figure Skating Championships, which you and I probably know not a whole lot about. 1992, I was in Albertville, France for the Olympic Games, and I was sent down to the Kiss and Cry area, and I knew nothing. And Kurt Browning, my hero from near my hometown of Red Deer, Alberta, where your dad was a champion.
Played hockey. Yes, he was.
Tell us about that, Red Deer College Kings.
My dad, Red Deer College, he's telling me stories about Ron McLean used to be the referee, you know, a couple of years younger than him, but he remembers you very well. They're the championship players for the Kings there back in Red Deer, champion nationals 2 years in a row. Two times.
Al Furchuk, the coach of Red Deer, taught Mike Babcock, who's now one of the great coaches in the National Hockey League.
You know, I'm a little taken aback right now because honestly, this is the most I've ever heard Ron McLean talk in one sentence without getting cut off by a certain sportscaster / buddy of yours. What's Donnie up to?
He's home picking out a tie for the weekend. As I don't know if you ever read the piece in the Globe and Mail, but he was sincere. On Monday, he lays suits out and he looks in his bedroom at this jacket, that suit, and this tie and that collar. And I mean, the guy is fixated on getting ready for that 5 minutes a week. It's unbelievable to prep. And Don, I'll be just like hungover, falling asleep. Grapes, he's hungover too, and he's wired and yapping and reading, and amazing guy.
For all the suits I've seen him wear, I mean, at least sometimes when he sits down with you, full pink plaid suit, you got to look at him and be like, Donnie, what are you doing, buddy? What do you think?
Look, that's his thing, as you know, and it comes from the $5 bill. If you look at your $5 Canadian bill, that's a Laurier collar, so that's where he gets it. His dad used to wear that. And I'll tell you, in the 2006 Stanley Cup, Carolina's playing Edmonton, and Dougie Waite's playing for the Carolina Hurricanes. And he'd been brought over, you know, at the trade deadline, and he was a nervous wreck. This is first time in the finals. Yeah. And he said, I literally was in the dressing room ready to heave before going on the ice for Game 1 in Raleigh. And I came out onto the ice, and down at the end of the arena, I saw Grapes, and he had that, you probably remember it, it was kind of a purple plaid bedspread jacket that he wore.
It was very dark purple-y kind of thing like
just
that. I remember it
nauseating. Well. Anyway, Waite saw it, and he burst out laughing, and it relieved sort of the tension. Mind you, they fell behind 3-0 in that game. Luckily for them, Rolison got hurt, and they got back in the game.
Since I'm with you, you're the lead sportscaster, as far as I'm concerned, in Canada.
No, I thought the same. Yeah.
What do you think about, what do you think about the playoffs? What's going to happen? I mean,
well, I was Ducks all the way. I'm trying to decide. I don't know how you feel about it. What's going to happen with Pronger after the stomp? And Brian Burke doesn't want me to call it a stomp.
We're in that.
Well, it gives him. He needs the rest. Yeah, 8 games is enough. Chris Simon, you know, to me 30 was excessive for Chris Simon, but he had just had a 25 gamer. The league was kind of backed into a corner on Simon. It was like, well, this guy just threw it in our face. So, and the other thing about Chris is it was a non-hockey related, but no apologies. It was kind of a goofy thing that Chris did. 8 games seems to me about right. I'd have preferred 10. I'd have preferred 1 game into the playoffs.
Into the playoffs, just to
you know say
what?
Yes.
He's like they're one of their lead players, and he's getting a rest before they go into the playoffs.
Right, but it could throw him. It could throw him in the sense that he goes in a little scared that the referees are targeting him.
The Sens beat out them a little early last year, and they choked. They didn't take anything.
Well, they were just too good a team.
I'm sorry. I'm just a cocky Leafs fan trying to get my jabs in.
They had the layoff kill them, just like it killed Anaheim the year Jaguar won the Conn Smythe Trophy. But I'll read how Pronger comes out of that suspension. You know, does he look like he's holding back a little? Does he look like the team's been thrown off a little? I can't imagine it. Otherwise, it should be the Ducks. And for whatever weird reason, telling you the story about Carolina, to me, they've been one of those teams. I don't know their defense hardly, you know, but they seem to, and they've got such key injuries. Williams and Brind'Amour and Whitney's hurt now. They were the team I was kind of liking outside of out of the East. Rangers could be tricky too. They're life and death to get in right now. But
what about Washington?
Their bugaboo might be 2 goalies, and when you have 2, you got that. You know, Scotty Bowman knew how to handle it when he had 2.
I don't want to talk about Scotty Bowman. The Leafs totally dropped the ball there when we had a chance.
April 8th. We're going to try and sort of mold it on being John Malkovich, but it'll be being Scotty Bowman. We're getting Bowman in to handicap all the series because he is Rain Man, you know, and he'll be like this, that, and the other thing. And it's going to be a hell of a show, I think. I'm looking forward to that.
All right, you know, Ron, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out.
John,
there.
you're a great guy. Love to your dad. Love to Algonquin.
Exactly. So one more thing. Can you look in that camera? And I mean, I'm a little starstruck.
John Green Show. Don't you ever miss it.
Ever.